If you've been hearing about no-code website building, but you're not sure what it actually means or how it can help your business, stay right here. I'm Mordecai, and in this episode, we're going to understand exactly what no-code website building is, how it works, why it matters, and how you can start using it today. Now, let's jump right into it.
Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we are diving into something that's honestly a total game changer. How you can build an incredible presence on the web, even if you've never written a single line of code in your life. You know the feeling, right? We've all been there. You get this amazing idea for a business, a portfolio, maybe a community, and then bam, reality hits. You start thinking about all the technical stuff, and it just feels like you've hit a giant brick wall. Well, today, we're going to talk about how to just smash right through it. So here's our game plan. We'll start by talking about the coding wall and then jump straight into the no-code revolution. We're going to cover what you can actually build, weigh the pros and cons, and then peek into the wild AI-powered future.
All right, so let's talk about that wall. For the longest time, if you wanted to build something on the web, you had two choices. Spend a ton of time learning really complex languages like HTML, CSS, JavaScript, or spend a ton of money hiring someone who already knew them. This created this huge barrier that just left so many great ideas stuck on the back of a napkin.
But what if you could just sidestep all of that? That's exactly the promise of no-code. It's a whole new approach where you use these super intuitive visual tools, we're talking drag and drop editors, to design and launch a website without ever touching code. You're not a coder, you're a creator. And look, this isn't just about a few neat tools here and there. This is a full-blown revolution. It's creating an entirely new way for people to build their corner of the internet. So why is this blowing up right now? Well, it really boils down to a few huge wins. First, the speed is just insane. You can build something in a few hours, not weeks or months. And because you don't need to hire a team of developers, the cost just plummets. It's incredibly beginner-friendly, and it's all just so empowering. It's a perfect storm for startups, creators, and small businesses. Okay, so we get why it's so popular. But what can you actually build with this stuff? I mean, really? The answer is way, way more than you probably think. Let's take a look at the sheer scope of what's possible here.
The range is just wild. Yeah, you can start simple. A beautiful personal portfolio, a landing page for your business. But you can also go bigger, build out blogs, community platforms, even full-fledged online stores. You know, some huge million-dollar companies actually got their start with these exact tools. This stuff isn't a toy, it's a launch pad.
So, you might be thinking, okay, where do I start? Let's run through a few of the big players. If you want absolute, fine-grained control over your design, every little animation, every pixel, Webflow is your best friend. If you just need a stunning, simple one-page site, Card is incredible. For an all-in-one solution with tons of templates, Wix is an absolute powerhouse. And then you have tools like UWare, which are amazing at bridging that gap to what's called low-code, when you need a bit more power.
Now, here's the part I really want you to pay attention to, because this is where most people get it wrong. No code doesn't mean no strategy. You still need to think about your user, your content, and your goal before you drag and drop anything or your prompt. If you found this valuable and want more content like this on AI, hit that subscribe button right now. Let's get back into it.
All right, I know what you're thinking. This all sounds a little too good to be true, doesn't it? And, you know, like with any powerful tool, it's super important to understand the trade-offs. This isn't a magic wand for every single project out there. So let's do a quick reality check. Here's the deal. On the plus side, the speed, the accessibility, the low cost, those are massive, undeniable wins. But the downsides are real too. You can get what's called platform lock-in, which basically means it's really hard to pack up your site and move it somewhere else. If you need super complex, custom logic, you might hit a wall. And sometimes you don't have full control over performance. It's all about finding that sweet spot for what you need to build. But you know, there's this fantastic middle ground that's popping up everywhere, low-code. A lot of these platforms now let you inject your own little bits of code or connect to other services using something called an API. Just think of an API as a bridge that lets your website talk to other apps on the internet. It really gives you the best of both worlds. You get the crazy speed of no code for 90% of your project and the flexibility of code for that last tricky 10%.
So, that's where we are right now. But where is all of this headed? This is where things, in my opinion, get really, really mind-blowing. We are right on the edge of the next frontier.
because the evolution that we're seeing, it's not just about making better drag and drop tools. No, the next step is not just no code. It's something people are starting to call vibe coding. And just imagine this for a second. Instead of dragging and dropping anything, you just describe what you want. You say, hey, I want a clean, minimalist portfolio for a photographer. Give it a gallery that scrolls sideways and put a contact form at the bottom, and an AI just builds it for you, right there. That's the future we are walking into.
And that really brings us to this one last pretty wild thought. If you can build powerful, complex software just by describing it, will the next million-dollar startup be quite literally spoken into existence? The barrier between an idea and a creation is basically crumbling to dust. The only question left is, what are you going to build? Thanks for joining me.
And that's the full breakdown on no-code website building. If you found this valuable and want more content like this and AI, automation, and how to build smarter, hit that subscribe button right now. And remember, my name is Mordecai. I'll see you in the next one.